It really looks like James Gunn is already moving forward on a third Wonder Woman movie for DC. But honestly, it seems like the DCU's new take on Wonder Woman is going to have quite a challenging debut. So let's break down everything we know so far about this new chapter for Diana of Themyscira. First off, Wonder Woman's days in James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC studios aren't over. In fact, Gunn himself recently told Entertainment Weekly that, "We're working on Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's being written right now." That's a pretty big statement because it officially confirms that the Amazonian princess hasn't hung up her lasso just yet. What's still a mystery is exactly who's writing this new Wonder Woman movie. DC's staying quiet on that front for now. Plus, Gunn hasn't even picked out who's going to play Princess Diana this time around. That's a huge question mark because ever since Gunn and Safran took over DC at the end of 2022, they've basically been hitting reset, moving away from Zack Snyder's old DC universe. One of the casualties of that shift was Patty Jenkins' planned Wonder Woman 3, which ended up getting scrapped because it apparently didn't fit into the new vision. There's more to this picture, though. Recently, Gunn also made it clear that this upcoming Wonder Woman film is totally separate from the already announced Paradise Lost series for HBO Max. That show's apparently taking its sweet time moving forward, but it's still alive. Gunn described Paradise Lost as sort of a Game of Thrones with Westeros but on Paradise Island, which sounds pretty wild and intriguing. So it'll focus on Themyscira long before Diana probably even picks up her sword and shield. But as of now, there's still no word on who's writing that show either. Going back to the main DC plan, Gunn also echoed something Warner Bros. Discovery's CEO David Zaslav mentioned during an earnings call last month, that Superman, Batman, Supergirl, and Wonder Woman are pretty much the core pillars of this new DCU. Gunn admitted that was accurate. "I think he got that from something I said," Gunn laughed. "I wouldn't say only those 4 characters, but those 4 are incredibly important to us." He added that he feels really good about where 2 of those heroes are right now and that they're still figuring out the other 2. Now, if you rewind a bit, Paradise Lost was first teased back in early 2023 when Gunn and Safran rolled out their big Gods and Monsters slate for the DCU. That was the moment they revealed their huge new roadmap for DC, and they introduced Paradise Lost as one of the key projects. Set entirely on Themyscira, it sounded like it'd dig deep into the Amazonian society long before Wonder Woman's time, basically exploring how this all-female civilization operates and fights to protect itself. Meanwhile, back in August 2023, Gal Gadot herself was out promoting her Netflix movie Heart of Stone when she brought up Wonder Woman. She shared that she'd actually had a meeting with Gunn and Safran. According to her, they told her straight up, "You're in the best hands. We're going to develop Wonder Woman 3 with you. We love you as Wonder Woman. You've got nothing to worry about." That sounded promising at the time, but DC later told Deadline there actually wasn't a Wonder Woman 3 in the works, so it seems like those plans fizzled out behind the scenes. Patty Jenkins also weighed in after her version of the threequel got pulled. She said she never just walked away, she was open to hearing any ideas, but clearly DC decided it wanted to go a different route entirely. Originally, Wonder Woman 3 got announced in a bit of a scramble right after Wonder Woman 1984 underperformed. That movie only managed to pull in about $170 million worldwide, which was rough considering theaters were still closed in many places due to the pandemic. Warner Bros. Tried to balance it by dropping it simultaneously in theaters and on HBO Max in December 2020. It was actually the first title under Jason Kilar's short-lived streaming-first strategy. Compare that to the first Wonder Woman in 2017, which was a huge cultural moment directed by Jenkins and raking in over $822 million globally, making it a landmark movie for a female-led superhero project. Interestingly, the new DCU is already planting some seeds for Wonder Woman's corner of the world. In the very first episode of Creature Commandos, there's a news segment that reports on a rebel group called the Sons of Themyscira invading a country named Pokolistan. They're being led by Circe, an Amazonian sorceress, who's promised these rebels she'll help them take over Themyscira, a place that's still half mythical to the outside world. Their logic? That Themyscira is the sickest place ever, and men should get to enjoy it too. This attack by Cersei and her followers could end up dragging Themyscira into war with Pakistan, forcing Wonder Woman and the other Amazon leaders to finally step out of the shadows. Up until that news report in Creature Commandos, the larger world didn't even know if Themyscira was real. So it looks like Wonder Woman and her people might only reveal themselves once their island's truly under threat. And based on how Creature Commandos sets things up, that could be happening very soon. That's why these teases about Wonder Woman in the DCU are actually pretty exciting. When Gunn and Safran first unveiled their Gods and Monsters lineup, it seemed like it might take a long time before we actually saw Wonder Woman show up. Unlike Superman or Batman, she didn't immediately get a solo movie announced. That worried a bunch of fans, especially because Wonder Woman 1984 was still pretty fresh in everyone's minds and left kind of a bad taste. At the same time, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman didn't officially say goodbye until after the new DCU was announced. She even hinted she'd talked to Gunn about possibly coming back. But apparently, those conversations didn't go anywhere, and Wonder Woman 3 was officially canned. That left Wonder Woman as the only member of DC's iconic Trinity without a standalone project in that initial slate. So when Creature Commandos made references to Themyscira, it felt like DC was at least laying down early groundwork to reintroduce Diana and her world in a more gradual way. Meanwhile, the Flash movie basically wrapped up the old DCEU's versions of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman all at once. Batman got a supporting role, Wonder Woman had a quick cameo, and Superman barely showed up at all in a blink and you'll miss it news clip. So going forward, Superman and Batman actually have a huge head start over Wonder Woman in the new DCU. Both of them already have new movies lined up that Superman will headline. Superman Legacy and Batman Get the Brave and the Bold, plus characters tied closely to them like Lex Luthor, Damian Wayne, and Supergirl are all jumping into the universe early on. The fact that Paradise Lost could connect back to Creature Commandos suggests Wonder Woman's prequel show might not take place too far in the past after all. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.